But the good news is it's super easy to relaunch OBS. Yay! Since all that happened was I crashed OBS, I just had to relaunch OBS. I mean, it wasn't just OBS crashed, but like, it was essentially just that, which means that relaunching OBS essentially fixes it, so. And it did, as you can tell by the fact that we're back. Because we're so back. And you can tell, because we're so back. If you think about it, we're so back. In fact, you don't even have to think about it. All right, come on, BIOS. I'm begging. I'm begging you, BIOS. I'm begging you, BIOS, please. Come on, BIOS. Come on, BIOS. Let's go, BIOS. Le BIOS. Come on, BIOS. All right, that didn't work. What if I restart it? All right, restart the restarting it gambit. Maybe this will work. I got Little Caesars tonight because the pretzel pizza makes me swoon. And they low-key didn't give me any pretzel crust or fake orange cheese sauce. They'll definitely give me a disease. That's like fucked up. Like, isn't that like the whole point? Deku, what are you doing, bro? Little Caesars, hot and ready, just like me. Okay, I gotta quit. I gotta stop. It's one of my favorite things, and it tastes like poop. It tastes like poop butt. It tastes like poop from a butt. It tastes like ass from a butt. It tastes like poop from an ass. It shouldn't exist, but I'm so glad it does. Yeah, that's valid. People think that Domino's is Little Caesars all the time, and what I mean by that is they'll come in and they'll be like, "Can I get a pepperoni pizza?" And you're like, "Okay, that'll be $16. And it'll be 15 minutes. And they're like, you don't have any just like ready? And I'm like, the fuck you think this is? No, I gotta stretch the dough. Then I gotta top the dough with sauce and cheese. I gotta top the dough, bro. I'm gonna have to top that dough. And you're gonna watch me do it. You're gonna watch me top this dough. Domino's made me freaky. Ah! I just hit the camera so hard that it blinked. It's fine. It's probably fine. It's probably fine. You got fired? No, not yet. Maybe though, but not yet. I'd be sloppy little pizza piggy, but it'll ask. Just use the mix and match deal, $6.99. 2 medium pizzas, 2 topping or more. Sorry, 2 or more 2 topping medium pizzas for $6.99 each. And pretty much every side is available on that, including the 8-piece wings, the 8-piece stuffed cheesy bread, the 9-piece marbled brownie cookie, the sandwiches and the pastas, the loaded chicken and the tots. You could get a 2 topping medium pizza for $6.99. And then you could get loaded Philly steak tots, and it would only come out to be about $16 after tax. The employee discount is 40% off, and the mix and match deal, unironically, makes the, if you were to get a medium 2 topping pizza and like loaded tots, the mix and match deal would still be cheaper than if you used my employee discount. The mix and match deal is a better deal than my employee discount. Okay, so I have another keyboard somewhere, but I don't know where it is at this very moment. But I think I figured out where it is at this very moment, so we're good. It's probably just under here, if I had to guess, right? Well, there's a keyboard right there. There should be one more keyboard too, though. Yeah, there's another keyboard right there. Perfect. Now I have 3 keyboards. I knew collecting all these keyboards and mice would be worth it one day. I just knew it. I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. How smart. Chi-Chi, you do not want to go into this. Okay, buddy, you really don't, I promise. Okay, I don't have a longer cable than this, but it's just gonna have to do. Because I don't feel like finding another one. Even though I have one somewhere. Okay, does the keyboard light up when it gets plugged in? No. Okay. Well, that means something. I don't know exactly what it means, but it does mean something. All right, let's turn it off. And then let's turn this off. And then let's make sure that this is firmly plugged into place. If the motherboard isn't getting proper power, or if the RAM isn't in, or if the CPU is not getting power, these would all be cause for alarm. Oh, kitty, careful, man. Careful, kitty, man. Nearly there yet? I mean, the computer's built. At this point, it's just troubleshooting, so yeah. But, I mean, I speed ran this. I got it built in less than an hour, so. It's pretty pog, honestly. It's pretty epic awesome sauce, if you ask me. Okay. There was a snap, a crackle, and a pop when I plugged it back in, so I hope it's fine. That's probably fine. That's probably fine. Knowing everything I know about computers is probably fine. In all the ways that it's like really not fine, but that's fine. Okay, the keyboard just isn't, and neither is the mouse. Maybe let's try a different port. See if that helps. Oh, it does help. Wow. Oh, it didn't. It did, but it didn't. It powered it for a second. That was cool. Go again. Oh yeah. All right, so it powers for a second and then it turns off. Okay, so now we have to diagnose what that means. When the power shows up for a second and then turns off, what does it mean? It means that there's power in the motherboard, which is good. But now the question becomes, why no video out? And the answer likely lays within the mind of the viewer. Oh, hello. Whoops, sorry about that. I accidentally unmuted the headset mic for a second. Okay, my next suspicion is, again, I just think that the CPU isn't powered. My inner ear snail, wait, Seriously, you were able to hear that? Oh, that's so embarrassing, dude. That's so freaking embarrassing. It's probably why my boss hates me. He probably hears my inner ear snail. And he knows what I am. He knows I'm a little fucking freak. I kind of hate you now too because of it. Oh, that's understandable. I get it. I really do. Something is cooking. But I don't know what. I haven't decided yet. Could try reseating the RAM. But that shouldn't really affect anything as far as I'm concerned, because they are locked into place properly, so they should be fine. We could try just absolutely sure. Yep, I'm good. Okay, if it's not that, all right, I need a flashlight real quick. Does it slide? That one slides. Okay, cool. I don't know why I expected anything other than inconsistencies from an NZXT case. Oops, I'm being a hater. All the power is in, right? Maybe it's because the audio panel was off. I thought maybe the GPU wasn't plugged in all the way. Maybe the front USB 3. No, everything seems fine. If not that, then what? I have many questions and not a lot of answers. Considering this build has operated before, I don't know what the issue is. This one has just one, and it's me. I'm its biggest fan. It has 4. Hey, no plastic munching. By every metric that I can think of that should be operational, like the only thing I can think of as to why it is not is that it doesn't have an operating system, but that shouldn't stop it from going into BIOS. Well, the good news is I don't know if it's the keyboard. And since I don't know if the keyboard is a problem, I have another keyboard. Haha. Infinite keyboard glitch. You might be asking, why do you have 4 keyboards? And to that I'd say, mind your own damn business. Console commands off stream. Real. Hey, stop plasticking. No plastic. Stop the plastic. None of that. No. Keyboard no worky. Alright. I don't know what to do right now because I don't know why it's not doing the thing. This CPU doesn't have video out, so I know there's that. That doesn't work. I know that that won't work. It has to be from the graphics card. But the graphics card is installed, so... Why do you want him to be left out? It's not that I want him to be left out, it's just he's approaching it the wrong way. Because that's macro plastic, not microplastic. Okay, well, that's not working. So the next option... The next option, what is the next option? The next option would be... Oh my god, I have 2 more mice in here? How many mice do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Jesus. Why do I have... Mind your own business. Mind your own business, Zach. Don't ask yourself why you have 5 mice. Don't you know better than that? Don't ask yourself stupid questions like that. Okay, let's see. Can I do this? All right. Will this work? Kind of. Check the video cable. Is it the HDMI cable? Probably not. But I have another HDMI cable somewhere if I need it. Here's one right there. That one's not long enough, though. Shit. I could try this HDMI cable. Is this one long enough? All right, let's try that one. Oh, that's the other one. I already tried that one. Okay, let's try this one. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, no, wait, hold on. No, wait, hold on, come back. No, hold on a second. Beautiful bald wife is gonna wake up soon, so I'm gonna pretend I've been asleep. I'm low-key sneak back on when he's gone. Sounds good. Still no signal. Okay, let's try just push the button. Okay, let's just restart it while it's here and see what happens. All right, still not getting to BIOS. I'll look it up. All right, we're gonna do all the things again. We're gonna turn it off, and then we're gonna attempt to just reseat everything. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. PC build. Indeed. This is a dev PC, which means it's not a very powerful computer by today's standards, but it was a powerful computer by 2018 standards. But regardless, the point of what I'm building with it is just to have something that I can install Linux on and then use as like a media server to put like movies on or like record videos to for like my YouTube stuff, or just play around with coding, hosting Minecraft servers, that kind of thing. Sure, it depends on what I want to do with it, but what I want to do with it would never... What I want to do with it would mean, like... more powerful is always better. In the instance of what I want to do with it. So... If it was just a media server and nothing else, and yeah, but I want to host game servers on it, so technically having things like more RAM or a better CPU would be beneficial, so, but it doesn't really matter that much because it's still powerful enough to do all the things I want it to do, and that's really all that matters, realistically. All right, let's give it another go. Whoops. hope the GPU slot isn't broken. I don't think it is, but maybe. It shouldn't be. I thought the RAM was fine. Maybe it's not. We'll give it another go. Hoarding parts from Goodwill to build a junk PC. Yeah, this is a boat of Theseus situation. The GPU, motherboard, RAM, power supply, fans. The only thing that isn't the original is the case. But basically, I replaced the RAM one time, and then I replaced the GPU one time, and then I replaced the power supply at some point, and then I replaced... By the time I replaced everything, eventually I replaced the motherboard and the CPU, and so I had all of the original parts again. And so this is just my original gaming PC that I started streaming with in 2018. Or 2019, whatever. I started streaming off a laptop in 2018, got this in 2019, I think. All right. Could be the RAM. I don't know why it would be the RAM, because I already reseated that. Could be any of the cables, but again, I already double checked all the cables, so what is the issue? Everything's receiving power properly as far as I can tell, so it being anything other than just, you know, whatever, I don't know. Let's just pull the RAM out completely. Because maybe it is the RAM. I mean, it is relatively likely, I guess. But these are from the same 16 gigabyte DDR4, 3600 megahertz kit. So they should be fine. So I guess let's just try and load them in again. Okay. All right, let's give it another go. Now that the RAM has been reseated, I've reseated the GPU and the RAM now. Come on. No. Nothing. Weird. All right. Last thing I can think of to try is to just unplug the motherboard cable. And then unplug the CPU cable as well and try both of those. Bad words, true. I'm at 4 pages and I dream I'm gonna go sleep. Sounds good. Have a great night. I appreciate it. Good to see you. Have a great night. Thank you, thank you. Thanks so much for coming in. Great to see you again. Have a fantastic night and good luck with all of your final stuff. No plastic. Bad kitty. I mean, good kitty, but bad kitty, you know? Good kitty for being awesome. Bad kitty for eating plastic. I don't know why this cable is so short. It's very annoying. Oh, shit. Dude, I hate plugging the CPU power cable in every single time I build a computer. It is literally the worst part. Because it is always such a fucking pain in the ass. For no reason. Maybe it's because I'm used to buying cheap power supplies and cheap motherboards that just make it as annoying as possible for no fucking reason, but it always seems like the CPU cord is slightly too short, and the orientation of the CPU power cable slot on the motherboard is always in an orientation that makes it as hard as possible to get it plugged in. Okay, please be good. Please, 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 I'm begging. Still nothing. Well, that is so frustrating. I don't want to have to call it quits on this thing, but I might just have to call it for the night, because I don't have all night to fuck with this thing. I'm gonna try DisplayPort again. Well, but the mouse and keyboard don't show power, so I don't see why it would be that. Huh. There's a kitty for you guys to look at. Like, I guess it could be the power supply is not great, but nothing I could do about that other than buy a new power supply. And that kind of defeats the purpose of this being a rebuild of an X build. I mean, not really. It's kind of cheap to get a new power supply, but... I just don't know. I've never had a problem like this. I've had problems with not posting and other such various problems. But I've never had a problem like this. This is a weird one. This is a weird one for me. I've never had it quite like this. Problem with the screen or computer, it really could be any of those, yeah. Unfortunately, it's hard to say. The best thing to do is try the computer, the same port on your computer on a different monitor if you have another one. And then if you don't, then it's hard to say. But what you'd want to do is try the monitor on a different computer and try the computer on a different monitor, depending on which one. If you try the computer on a different monitor and the problem persists, it's the computer. If you try the monitor on a different computer and the monitor keeps doing it, it's the monitor. But if you don't have another computer or another monitor, it's hard to diagnose 100%. Monitor's super old. Well, probably most likely is the monitor then. Hola, what up, Tito? Lonesome in a state of mind. I'm in a state of mind. Yeah, it's almost 3. I'm planning on getting off stream here soon, but I was just building a computer, that's all. I was gonna be live for like 2 hours. I got the computer put together and built and powered on within the first hour, but now I'm troubleshooting getting the dev PC thing to even show any video output, and I don't know if it's a graphics card issue, motherboard issue. I've reseated everything. Now, I just stuck my hand in a fan, whoops. I've reseated everything. RAM, GPU, I've replugged and unplugged each power cable to reseat those. So I'm not really sure what the issue is now. I mean, I feel like I've done everything I can do, short of, you know, oops, shut up, stop it, shut up. Short of, yeah. I don't know. SSD's nice and plugged in, so it shouldn't be that. Not that it would be that. I should still be able to get video output and get to BIOS even without any kind of storage device, but everything is powered on, so far as I can tell. And the monitor detects whenever the computer turns on. The HDMI cable is like being recognized, so that's fine. I don't know if the CPU cooler is got the liquid running through it or not, but it doesn't feel hot. The kitty wants to cuddle, yeah. But the flash drives receive power. Well, that one doesn't seem to receive power. This one did, though. Yeah, that one receives power. I mean, really, the only thing I can think is that maybe the PCIe on the motherboard is broken. And if that's the case, I mean, I'm basically screwed. I can't really build a dev PC without buying an entire another motherboard and CPU, and I'm not doing that. The whole point was I just had extra parts, so. Although I guess I do have another CPU, so realistically, all I would have to buy is a motherboard. I have another motherboard and another. Let's see if it's the GPU. I can test if it's the GPU easily because I have another GPU. Oh my God, I completely forgot that I had a fourth computer. I actually genuinely forgot I had a fourth entire computer that I could use to test parts on. That's actually hilarious in all of the not so hilarious ways. All right, let's see here. Look at my other GPU real quick. I don't want to test the other motherboard right now because the other motherboard is well, it would require something special is all I can say about that. All right, let's try our NVIDIA GTX 660 from way back in the day. And by way back in the day, I mean like 20... What year would that have been? 2012? Maybe? I don't even remember. Okay, the text, it's got HDMI. Let's see, does it do anything? Still nothing. The card is on, the HDMI is plugged in, and the screen detects that something is plugged into it. But it's getting no signal, which means either the motherboard is fucked at the GPU level, like at the PCI Express port, or the CPU or something is not working. And it's too hard to really tell right now which is which without doing a whole lot of weird shit. But I can, let's try and build a little workbench real quick. I can try one other thing here. We're gonna leave that powered. All right, here we go. Let's pull out the old motherfucker. AMD FX 8350. This is a 2012 computer. This computer is over 13 years old. It has 16 gigabytes of DDR3, an 8350 FX AMD CPU, and one broken PCI slot. But let's try to power this guy and see what happens, shall we? Okay, I need it to be on top of something that isn't metal. Oh, good. Glass. Perfect. That'll work. All right. Let's try that. Okay. Now I need power. I hope that the front power stuff still works for this motherboard. It should. I see no reason it shouldn't. Okay, this needs to go in the other way. Alright? Am I crazy? Did they change? Oh my god. Oh, is it just backwards? It's backwards and upside down now? No. Oh my god. Well, how does that work? Well, where's the original power supply? The OG power supply. The one from 2012. Do I even have that one anymore? I know I should, I just don't know where I would. It was a Corsair 650. I'm pretty sure I replaced the one in that computer, but maybe I didn't. But if I didn't, how is it? How odd. I didn't think that the power supply connector had changed, but it looks like it did. Unless I'm just crazy. I might just... No. No, yeah, I'm fucking insane. I'm just crazy. It's the same connector. I'm just stupid. It's like I didn't think the connector changed. That didn't make any sense to me. But I convinced myself it did. Oh, because it did. What the fuck? That makes no sense. Why would they have changed the connector? Oh, it fits. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Okay. And then I need motherboard power. Give me your power cable, please. I'm begging. Thank you. Okay. Oh god, that's not gonna fit. All right. That's what she said. All right, here we go. Onto the floor. The perfect place for a motherboard to be, on the floor. Everyone knows it. All right. Now that's in. All right, now let's go GPU. That should be in. Okay. Okay, And last but not least, front panel. That's gonna be the only thing I need to turn it on still. Where's the front panel? Oh my god, this thing even has USB 3, wow. It might be old, but it's apparently not too old. This still feels a little bit modern. I cannot believe this thing has USB 3.0. This thing was so ahead of its time, it's crazy. All right, let's give it a go. Here we go. Nope, that didn't work. Oh, did I turn this? I did turn that off, okay. Okay, it's on. It's running codes. Let's give it this. It's not happy. It's because the GPU is not seated properly. There we go. Now it is. Okay. Give it a quick reset. Chi-Chi, come on. A9. Oh my god. I have BIOS from this one. Okay, so there's definitely something wrong with the other motherboard. Oh, that sucks. But I have BIOS on this one, so I could turn this one into the dev PC if I wanted to, which is still positive. Yeah, AMD FX 8328 core. You guys want to see this? I actually can show you. There you go, there's my BIOS right now. $16 gigabytes of DDR3 1600 meg. Holy shit, this goes up to 6.3 gigahertz? What the fuck? I mean, fuck, man. If my CPU goes up to that, I mean, the only problem is that it only supports DDR3 RAM. That's the real problem, is that the RAM is outdated out the ass, but like, I still throw a 1070 Ti on there. Damn. I wish I could put DDR4 in this thing. That would be great. I mean, this thing could run Linux fine. Let's, Well, shoot, what do I do here? know. Well, I could install the Linux installer now, I guess. Man. Oh, let's test if the let's test if the GPU is a problem. I don't think it is. Based on the fact that, yeah. So power supply is not the issue, and as far as I'm aware so far, GPU is not the issue, which means it's probably CPU. Something's wrong with the CPU on the other computer, or the motherboard. It could be the motherboard, but I just don't know. It's hard for me to test independently the motherboard or the CPU because of the very nature of it, but let's test the 1070 Ti real quick. Even though I don't think there's going to be any issue with the 1070 Ti. And it's not the HDMI cable either, which is good to know. Oh, I didn't plug in the power for the, oops. I forgot to plug in the power for the GPU. LOL, that's funny. Let's not forget to power the GPU. It's an important thing. There we go. Please power down and connect the PCI power cables for this graphics card. Yep, no problem. There we go. So it's not the GPU. It's good. Good. That's great to know. That is very good to know. So I don't know what's wrong with the other one at all, but that's fine. What else do we want to test? I just want to test if I can put Linux on it really now, so let's go ahead and do that. Alright, Linux time. Okay. Boot. And then we need to get, let's see if my laptop is on. No. We can plug it in. I have an extra power cable. Okay. There we go. I haven't been on my laptop in almost probably like 3 or 4 months. Probably 3. Because I used my laptop almost exclusively as a Discord machine when me and my girlfriend were long distance. But since we're not long distance anymore, I don't have to do that. Get down, buddy. Come on. Give me a second, guys. I gotta find something. I just bought something that's very useful for what I'm trying to do right now, but I don't remember where I put it. I thought maybe I brought it downstairs and put it somewhere, but I'm not sure. I don't see it. Hi, kitty boys. Yes, yes, yes. I know. Here, treat time. Treats for kitties. Yay. I'm also going to grab treats for Zach because I've also been a good boy. Or something. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I've been a bad boy. Maybe that's why I got demoted. Anyway. I don't see what I'm looking for. Did I put it into one of the pockets of these jackets? That's always possible. I happen to do that a lot, just stick things in pockets and then forget them. Double check. I did do that. There's some SATA cables, which I don't need for this project, but are there. Wait, no? Wait, where's the USBs that I needed, though? Damn it. My stupid, dumb jackass self. I'm always losing stuff, man. Because I'm too stupid to keep it all together. Did I not put it into one of these pockets? Really? No? I didn't even put it in the same pocket as the thingies that I... Okay, whatever. I found my box cutters and my SATA cables, but not my USB to USB-C cable. Or adapters or whatever. Maybe I put them in my backpack? I might have. Okay, it doesn't matter. I have this adapter anyway. This is just as good. I'll find the other ones at some other point. I think this is a Windows installation. I don't want a Windows installation though. So let's do this. Let's make this a Linux drive. Okay, it says don't do that. United States. Okay. Let's see here. Oh,
Hey,
hey.
my name's Steve. I'm a principal engineer of Big Tech. Open source downloading, and the next thing we do is tell, and this will show me all of the different, but that's not top 8. Things don't do it, and find a way to actually figure out like what's in your system and make sure you don't write on the wrong one. Okay. Have to use one lowercase m, and it's really actually not critical. It's just going to connect. So we can exit out of here. And if you type IP LinkedIn, what you're going to see is that sets up. And so you can also confirm that you're connected to the internet petition. So if you're going to do the root password, potentially, is I like to install the Nodo fonts, the TTF, it's in a GNOME, and we have a basic Archlink system with none of like the desktop trees. And so the first thing we probably want to do is your system. And let's go ahead and set the root password. This can be, so you can also confirm that you're connected to the internet by running ping.
All right, I really have no idea what I'm doing here. I've never had to do something like this. Very confusing. Okay. So is this only 16 gigs? Yeah. Let's do it on this one. Oh, don't open it. It's time I was unconscious. Of course. Actually, thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it. Good to have you. Thanks for hanging out. Have a fantastic night. Sleep well. Hmm. Hmm. All right. I don't know why I even tried to do it that way. I'll do it this way. Okay. Getting close to Arch Linux time. Good kitty. Good kitty. All right. And we are on the way. Cool. We have like 1 more minute left. Or a couple more minutes left. Then we'll plug that USB into here and install Linux, Arch Linux. That'll be cool. All right. That's exciting. It's really exciting, actually. All right. I'm going to be trying to go to bed here soon. The only thing I need to do before I go to bed is just make sure that anything that my cats could get into in here that I don't want them to get into is put away. Do-do-do-do-do-do. All right. Woohoo, Arch Linux. Halfway done. I have everything set up so precariously I can't really sit down very easily without screwing me up. Okay, we're good. Oh. Well, let's look at YouTube. See if there's anything fun to look at on YouTube while we wait for this to do its thing.
This video has been sponsored by Brilliant. This is a large jug of bird repellent.
Why am I hearing that twice?
And a while ago, we were able to use it to make an apple that tastes like a grape. Since then, though, we've been wondering what else could we make an apple taste like? Because, I mean, at least in my opinion, there's no way that the only thing that works is grape-flavored bird repellent. I think that we should be able to make an apple that basically tastes like anything, where it can be relatively simple, like something like blueberry or cinnamon, or something more interesting, like cotton candy
There we go.
and bacon. And well,
Can you guys hear the video? Yo,
we finally decided to test that out. And to do
I can't
that,
sleep.
we went ahead and got
Oh, well, I'm installing Linux, so that should definitely be boring enough, I would assume. Video is hearable? Okay, good. Linux the Penguin? Yeah. We're installing Arch Linux right now. I spent the first part of the stream building a PC. Drive is created by Rufus. It can boot in UEFI mode only, but you are trying to boot it in BIOS legacy mode. This will not work. Third PC. Well, technically there's 4 in here right now. Because I built one, but I couldn't get it to post, so I also built a 4th one because I also had the parts for a 4th one. Yeah, here, I'll show you. So there's this one which I just built on stream, but I couldn't get any video out of it. I couldn't get what you were seeing. So then I had this even older computer, so I built that one to test it. So it's like hooked up to the heart of this computer to get it to power on. And that's what you're seeing the output from, is from this graphics card on this 2012 gaming PC from when I was a freshman in high school, like 13 years ago. But it's working, so I'm installing Linux on it instead. Well, it's the SSD I'll use, but I don't have time to figure out why that one's not working. So I'm using this one to look at Linux and get it installed on the SSD. And then at some point I'll either put this into that case or fix that computer so that way I can put that graphics card back in that case. And then, yeah. But insanely hot? Oh! Yes. Okay. If the computer supports UEFI, go to your UEFI settings and lower or disable the priority of CSM legacy mode. I don't think it supports UEFI because it's such an old... It's so old. I used my one PC for like 3 hours a day and had to crack open the window. Yeah, it gets super hot in here, not just because of my streaming PC, but because of my gaming PC. And my gaming PC makes it super hot in here because it has an AMD 7800 FX or X3D, which is known for being a very hot CPU, and a 5070, which is known for being a hot GPU, and so it just dumps heat into this room. And I'm on the second floor of my house, so. Aren't PC parts super expensive right now? Kind of. They got more expensive recently, like RAM is super expensive all of a sudden, but I haven't bought any parts in like 6 months. This is all stuff I just already had. I mean, like, basically like 6 months ago, I had some extra cash. So I bought the 5070 when it came out, or like a month after it came out. And then I bought 64 gigs of DDR5 RAM, which was only like $100. And then I bought an 850 watt gold power supply for a bit of money. And then the motherboard and the CPU were on sale, so I got those for like $300, and the power supply was like 100 and something. So overall, like my rebuild only cost me, it was like 700 for the graphics card and like 400 for the other. So it was like 1100 plus like 150 plus 150, so 300. It was only like, yeah, it was only like $1,500. Pretty fucking good. Especially for this build, like 1,500 for that build is fucking insane. It's a good ass build. I probably spent more and I'm like not accounting for everything, but well, it says UEFI. My entire PC setup costs. Yeah. Well, that's fair. Iñaki, have you seen my facial hair? I haven't streamed in 3 weeks, and in that time I grew a goatee. You look so interesting. Not bad, just very diff. I know. I have really light facial hair and it's not like super thick at the moment, so. It'll probably get thicker as I get older, but the fact that I can grow in like enough hair now on my face to actually have, like, I don't have to shave it because it's not so like spotty. It's dense enough to pass, basically. And this lighting doesn't help because of how light the hair is, but yeah. But it doesn't connect yet? Yeah. I feel you. Okay, well, I don't remember what it said for me to do, what the other thing was, so. Oh my god, this thing is so loud. Tried the mustache for Movember and lasted 4 days. See, that's the thing, like it came in well enough this month that I didn't feel the need to shave it off completely, you know? MBR BIOS. I'll show you some pictures I took on my phone where you can actually see like my facial hair. It is crazy though. I've never ever been able to grow facial hair ever. I thought I never would. And like it still obviously isn't like amazing. You know? But like I can't. Oh yeah, sorry, I don't have that bot running because I forgot because I'm about to stream. I don't think I ever will because I hate the way even a little bit of hair feels. It is weird. All right, here you go. There's shit on the screen, so it looked like I had shit on my lip, but... Like someone, but I don't know who. I look like me, but with a goatee. You look like an actor. Hello. Do you know this man? Look at this, dude. Do you dream this man? Be a cool old man. I hope I get to be an old man. This is what it looked like November 16th. Hold on. There we go. This is what it looked like November 16th when it was quite a bit shorter. And then I just kept letting it grow. And so 1 month later, it looks relatively the same, but the weird thing is it like is growing more on the bottom of my chin than it is on the front of my chin. So like right here, it doesn't look like I'm growing a whole lot. But then when I go like this, you can see it all down here. And then if I go like this, you can see how long it actually is. It basically just like grows only on the jaw bone, which is fine, but it's annoying because it doesn't fill in here. It's like half an inch. It is getting to the point where like I'm not allowed to grow it much longer and still keep it for work. Since I work in food, it has to be less than 1 inch. But I don't really want it to be super long. I just want it to be more like filled in. Yeah, I just need to get a razor that has like the selectable sizes so that way I can trim it all up to the same size. But right now, I'm kind of just continuing to grow it out to see how long it'll get and if it will like fill in at all. Annoyingly, I have like a bald spot right here. I have like, you know how I used to do the eyebrow slit? I have like a mustache slit right here. It grows in all the way on this side and then it goes to like here and has like a little bald spot and then you can like see where it doesn't grow in nearly as much, like right there. But then everywhere else it's fine. Your body absorbed the eyebrow slit aura, legit. Benyaki, over under on should I get fired to be a full-time streamer again? and then do a I lost my job-a-thon. Bad idea? Oh. Uh-oh. What if I told you I was already in the process? Would that be bad? The idea's already in motion. Appreciate you, Marty. I feel like an asshole. I'm just kidding. Not in motion on like necessary. I don't know. I worked my ass off and then crashed out on my boss and got demoted, so I almost got fired but didn't. So, you know. Damn, that sucks. I'm sorry. Yeah. The psyche part is just that, like, I feel like my crash out was valid. The person they hired to be my boss has never worked at Domino's before. And I know everything and have been preparing and training myself for the last year and a half to be a general manager. And then they made this guy the general manager, and he doesn't know anything about Domino's. Granted, he's got good management experience, but he doesn't know anything about Domino's. And so I essentially have to train him. And then I was like, I think it's bullshit that I have to train him. And then I was told, well, we never said you had to train him. And I was like, well, what other option did I have when I'm working with him and he doesn't know what he's doing? And then he's telling people to do things the wrong way and losing us money. Like, what am I supposed to do? Well, they don't appreciate you telling them that they don't know how to do their job. And anyway, they don't like peons like me thinking. How dare I think? I thought with my brain and made a valid point. And that's intimidating and threatening. And so I was removed from my position. Let him fail and take his job. Oh, well, I already, crashed out on the boss that's above both of us, so I think that ship has sailed. I think I already rocked that boat. I think I burned that bridge, so to speak. Companies don't care about valid points, they care about paying the least possible. Well, that's the thing that doesn't make any sense to me. Because they demoted me, but let me keep my pay. And you'd think that they would care about paying the least possible, and also, on top of that, want to make more money. And all of the valid points I was making was, you guys are losing money with your current actions, and we could stop losing that money and make more if you listened to me. And they were like, how dare you? You're being a negative Nelly. You're very negative and bad under pressure. That was their analysis of me being able to create $6,000 worth of food by myself in one day. But okay. That's awesome, at least. Kind of, but I don't get bonuses. That's the big problem, is I don't get the bonus. But if I don't get the bonus, someone's going to get the bonus. Like, they put someone else into the position to get the bonus, basically. Truly, sometimes doing the right thing gets you punished. Oh, I know. And I knew that going into it. I was actually kind of fully expecting to get fired. And when I didn't get fired, I was a little bit surprised, but then when I got demoted, I was like, okay. And then they're like, well, but you'll keep your dollar raise. And I was like, it's almost a slap in the face, because it's like, it's not really a dollar raise, because yes, I was technically making $1 less per hour before I got the dollar raise, but I was also doing delivery driving, which was making me like $8 more an hour during those days, and it evened out to be like $3 more than I was making, or about $2 or $3 more an hour than I am making now. So really, I still took a $3 an hour pay cut to be in this position. And so them demoting me but still making me only a manager is still a pay cut from what I was before, unless I work more hours, which I can and do work more hours because of the position. However, having to work more hours to make slightly more total money is still a slap in the face, because it means I have less time to do the things I care about, like stream or spend time with my girlfriend or decompress from work, because I'm working like 50 hours a week instead of working 35 hours a week. So it's like I'm working 15 hours more per week to make like $150 more total. That's not fucking worth it at all. Now, if I got my bonus, which I have no idea if I would have or how much it would have been because I was removed from the position too quickly, then maybe it would have made up the difference. However, the bonus is based on labor percentage and food cost revenue, which my GM guy, who doesn't know anything about Domino's, was absolutely fucking. He was fucking the labor by scheduling bad and overscheduling, and he was fucking the food percentage by having to do constant remakes, canceling orders, and throwing out food because he was leaving dough out for too long. So it was like, what the fuck? Like, even if I had stayed in the position to get the bonus, I wouldn't have gotten a bonus because all the percents were so bad, because the guy that was above me, that was my boss, didn't know what he was doing. Fucking stupid motherfuckers. Incompetency. I love it. It's so awesome. Could you get a different job? Well, I could go back to my original store and go back to the position I was doing, which was management and driving. Or I can try to move to a different franchise, so a different store under a different owner. Or, yeah, try to get a different job. And I'm working on that. But I kind of have to bide my time and work here until I get that sorted, because I have bills to pay. Unless streaming were to work out again very quickly, I'm gonna get fucked. There's no Best Buys within like a fucking 40-mile radius of me. I live in like bumfuck nowhere. There's not like big, like box stores like that. Fuck man, I'm sorry. Yeah. No, I should get a job outside of pizza. The reason why I have stayed in pizza is because, like, I literally taught myself everything with the intention of becoming a general manager and then a district manager and so on and so forth, and moving up that career ladder. I know everything. Literally everything. And it sounds so egotistical to say I know everything, but I mean, like, literally, I know everything. Like, I've read every single product book. I've read every single, like, thing about everything. And no one trained me on anything ever. I trained myself on everything. In 1 year and 2 months, I went from being a Domino's delivery driver to an assistant general manager who knows everything top to bottom, inside out, even things the district manager doesn't know about Domino's and how to make everything and why everything is the way that it is. Like, basically I made Domino's my hyperfixation, like my special interest, if you will. Ow, that's my foot, dude. But I basically made it my special interest. And like I can recite weights of things, like a 12-piece loaded chicken gets 0.7 ounces of pizza cheese, and then hot sauce, and then 0.7 ounces of cheddar cheese, and then feta crumble and ranch. And then it goes in the oven, and at the end it gets a little more hot sauce before it gets boxed up in the 9-inch side item box. Or the stuffed cheesy bread, which is made out of large hand-tossed dough. And it's supposed to be stretched out to 10 inches by 16 inches, then cut in half. Then put it on a folded in half 9x9 parchment and filled with 1 ounce of pizza cheese and topped with 3 ounces of cheddar cheese blend before being put into the oven after being cut into 8 slices. And at the end, it gets 0.5 ounces of garlic oil in the shape of a rectangle and then a W on the inside of the rectangle. But who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? Because we can just hire a guy that's never worked at Domino's to be the GM. Because we're really fucking smart. Here's the bilingual Domino's menu. We don't have twists anymore, or these pastas. Did you know that the Italian sandwich gets 0.5 ounces of pizza cheese on the bottom, and then 10 pepperoni, and then 10 salami, and then a slice, rectangle of provolone cheese? And the top gets 0.5 ounces of pizza cheese, and then 10 pepperoni, 10 ham, and then a sprinkle of green pepper, a sprinkle of onion, and then a line of banana pepper before another rectangle of sliced provolone. And it gets a tiny bit of butter on it, and it's put on a sandwich mat on a 12-inch screen before being put in the oven. And then when it gets out, it gets a 9-inch sandwich liner inside of a 9-inch side item box and cut in half at an angle. I know a 6-inch sub at Subway gets 6 olives. Head to bed, but it was nice saying hi. My parting words is don't let time invested be time wasted. You know, you can learn it all again. So if you feel like that's the best idea, I say go for it. What do I know? I don't have a job. Well, yeah, but the thing that everyone keeps telling me, every single person that like works at like, you know, in the stores or whatever and stuff, they just keep telling me, they go, it's not going to be better anywhere else. It won't be better at another store or at another franchise or at another, you know, this thing. And maybe they're right about the food industry specifically, and that's why I need to get out of the food industry. But the problem is like the job market outside of fast food is basically impossible to get a job in. And inside the fast food industry is they don't want a competent person. They want a fucking robot person in the low level that'll just follow instructions. And they don't want someone like me that poses a threat to their position because I want to take it. But the thing that's crazy is I want to take their position by getting them promoted. Like for me, like I wanted to be a general manager, and as a general manager do so good that I would get my district manager promoted to area manager, and as a result get to take his job once it was open. But, you know, whatever. I guess it doesn't fucking matter anyway. Never did, never will. I took $15,000 pay cut over the last year to try and improve my career. And in the end, it didn't matter at all. I stopped streaming as much. Basically gave up on that. I made it my hyperfixation so that way I could move up the career ladder. And I basically got a foot shoved up my ass and in my face that told me, fuck you, you'll never be shit. You can't be shit, we won't let you be shit, you're an asshole, fuck you. And I did all of it because I thought maybe I should actually have a real career so I can make a real paycheck so I can provide for my future family. But I guess I thought wrong. Because no one wants to listen to a 27-year-old white boy that was a streamer for 7 years. Oh well. I'll just go back to being a streamer or something, I don't fucking know. None of it fucking matters. None of it fucking matters. It's all bullshit. The world's not real. No one cares about me. What a funny rant to be on when someone follows. Sorry about that. Funky Monkey, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the Zach Pack. Okay, I need to get connected to the internet real quick on this computer. Which means I need an Ethernet cable. Do I have another Ethernet cable somewhere? Surely I do. Aha, there it is. That's your own reflection, buddy. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I see. Oh. The fuck was that sound? Alright, I'm gonna have to do the rest of this stream tomorrow or something. Unless I can just get a quick YouTube video on it.
In fact, this is the exact same installation we'll be building in today's video. But isn't Arch Linux notoriously hard to install? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be guiding you through the process every step of the way. Hello and welcome back to Learn Linux TV, the YouTube channel that's all about Linux. In today's video, it's all about Arch Linux because we'll be building our very own installation in today's video. In fact, I'm going to be showing you two methods of installing Arch Linux in this video. In the first section, we'll be going over the Arch install method, and in the second section of this video, I'll show you the manual approach to installing Arch Linux. The Arch install method is great for those of you that are just starting out, so if you want something quick and easy, well, that's the method that I recommend. For those of you that are more computer science-y types, the manual method is probably the best for you, which I'll show you in the last section of this video. Either way, by the end of this video, you'll have your very own Arch Linux installation. Now, if you're feeling a case of deja vu right now, yes, I did do a video about installing Arch Linux some time back. However, I like to refresh this video every now and then to keep it current. And since Arch Linux is a rolling distribution, that's especially important. Now, if you already have an Arch Linux installation, maybe one you've created from my previous video, then there's nothing new here because we're going to be going through the exact same procedure. It's just that it's going to be updated to be more compatible with the state of Arch Linux today in 2024. Now, before we get started, there's a few quick things that I need to mention. And the first is that I'm leaving it up to you to make sure that your hardware is compatible with Linux before you go to install Arch Linux. Linux is the most compatible operating system on the planet, but it's not 100%. So definitely make sure your video card, your network card, and so on are supported by Linux before you continue. And one quick way to know if your hardware is supported by Linux is to run a live CD. You can download a Debian, Ubuntu, Fedora, or any other distribution's live CD, and then try out the demo mode or live mode of that. They're a great way. Here on my laptop, what I'm going to do is show you the process of downloading the ISO image that we'll need for, I feel it's a that I'm downloading right. Again, if you don't, right after we set up a network connection. In fact, let's take care of that right now. After all, we will need a network connection in order to download the required components for Arch Linux. If you have a network cable connected to your computer, you might already have network connectivity, and one way that we can test that is to run the command IP-addr show. That should show us our IP address, if we have one. Now, in my case, I don't. I'm using a laptop, and I don't have a cable connected. I'm going to use Wi-Fi. I figured it's better to show you the process of using Wi-Fi just in case you need that, but if you do have an IP address, you should be good to go. In my case, if I did have one, and I had a wired connection, then it would be listed under number 2 for my wired connection, but the only thing I see here is my MAC address, so I know that I don't have an IP address, and I won't be able to access the internet, at least not right now. Now, another thing that we'll need is the interface name for our Wi-Fi adapter. In my case, it's WLAN 0, and it should be fairly obvious which one is your wireless interface, but we do need to know the name of our device, and in my case, it's WLAN 0. To find out the name of your Wi-Fi device, all you have to do is run this command, the command that I just ran, and you'll get that information. Once we have that, we could go ahead and start the process of setting up Wi-Fi. If you have no intention of using Wi-Fi, you can skip this step. To set up Wi-Fi, what we'll do is run the iwctl command, and this will activate another command prompt, a secondary command prompt that's specific to Wi-Fi. We could use this prompt to do things like scan the wireless networks that are available in our area, just get some information about our surroundings in terms of Wi-Fi, and then we can use that information to make the connection. So what we'll do is type the word station, and then we'll type the name of our Wi-Fi interface. In my case, it's WLAN 0. In my case, I the one that's station, and then the interface address. And check it out. For me to use SSH, I have to enable it. And I figured I would show you the process as well in case you want to use SSH for your installation. The first thing we'll do is see whether or not it's active already. And to do that, we can type systemctl and then status, and then we'll check the status of SSHD, just like that. In my case, it's active and running. So there's nothing I have to do when it comes to the SSH service itself. But if for some reason it's not showing as running on your end, what you can do is type systemctl start SSHD, just like that, and that'll make sure that at the SSH is listening for connections. After we do that, what we'll do is set a root password. By default, SSH will not allow connections to root when root doesn't have a password. So let's take care of that right now. So we'll type passwd, and then we'll type the password that we want the root account to have. And this root password is just for the installer and will not be the root password of our root account in our installation. So what I'll do is type in the password that I want this root account to have. And then I'll confirm it. And I've updated the password. So what I'll do now is switch over to another computer, and I'll use that computer to connect to this one via SSH to show you a higher resolution. It's just video editing stuff, don't worry about it. Be right back, and the screen will look a lot better once I do. All right, so now that doesn't impact much the Arch Linux installer. Now what we're going to do is go through each of these sections one by one to configure our installation. I'll start with the first option and then work my way down. What we're going to do is go through, what we could do is type Arch install, and what that's going to do is launch the Arch Linux installer. Now what we're going to do is go through each of these sections one by one to configure our installation. I'll start with the first option and then work my way down. And the first option here is asking us to choose our installation language. This is the installer's language, not your installed system's language. If your language is something other than the default, what you can do is press enter. You can use your up and down arrows to select something else. You can scroll through the list. Keeps going and going here. I just typed English. And that brings us back to from when we install the way we country. Sure, press enter. If it is a simpler approach, I'm going to keep this simple as well. So that's the option that I'll be choosing. I will be showing you how to participate. Next, what we'll do is choose the hard drive we want to install Arch Linux onto. In my case, it's the middle one right here. It's not going to be my loopback device. Certainly not. Second option, just make sure that you choose the appropriate one for you, because whichever one you choose, well, that's going to be completely wiped out. So I'll press enter on this hard drive here. And then next it's going to ask us for a file system. I recommend choosing Extended 4 or ext4. I've covered Btrfs on the channel already if that's something that you want to check out, but we're going to keep it simple for this particular. I recommend you do the same. This is going to ensure that your personal data, your files basically, are in their own folder on their own partition. That's a great thing to do, especially if you want to reinstall Arch Linux without disturbing your user data, which is this at systemd boot. If you want to choose something else, you can definitely do that, but I'm going to leave that simple here. I'm not going to install a unified kernel image, so I'm going to skip all the way down to swap, and I'll press enter on that. Now you might already know what swap is, but do you know what swap on ZRAM happens to be? Have you heard of that before? Well, it's relatively new, and it is the default option here. Basically, what swap on ZRAM allows you to do is compress things in RAM so that your RAM goes further. It's better than swap, and it's certainly better than swap but. If you have any reason why complicated and preferably randomly generated password, I'm going to keep it simple password. You definitely want to make sure that this is a complicated and preferably randomly generated password. I'm going to keep it simple since this is just a demo. So I'll type in my desired root password right now. I'll do it again. And now we have set the root password. And the next thing we could do is create a user account for ourselves.
All right.
I do recommend that you do this. So I'll press enter on this option here. I'm going to add a user. We'll confirm it. And then it'll ask us if we want super user or do that. But when you're done, you choose type. What type of installation is this? Is it a server? Is it a desktop? Well, we're going to be setting up a desktop in this video. We'll have a graphical user environment and all of that. So we'll choose the first option for desktop. Server? Is it a... Continuing, we're going to choose profile. So I'll press enter on that. And the first thing we're going to configure is the type. What type of installation is this? Is it a server? Is it a desktop? Well, we're going to be setting up a desktop in this video. We'll have a graphical user environment and all of that. So we'll choose the first option for desktop. Next is going to ask us which desktop environment we want on our system. I'm going to choose GNOME. You can choose it by pressing tab once we select it. You could also choose other desktop environments as well if you'd like more than one. So if I also wanted Cinnamon, for example, I could choose that. But I'm going to leave it on GNOME. Again, you can press tab to select or deselect an option, and then you press enter when you're done. So for me, GNOME is good enough. Next, we're going to choose graphics driver. And for this, you're going to need to know what kind of GPU you have in your computer. Most people know what GPU is inside their computer. But basically, what it comes down to is whether or not you have Intel, AMD, or NVIDIA. By default, it's going to only install open source drivers, and some GPUs require closed source drivers in order to provide you with full video acceleration. Let's press enter on this option here. And let's go through it. So if you're on an AMD system, then you're good with open source drivers. There's nothing you have to do. So if you have an AMD GPU, you're good to go. Intel, you can choose that option here. That's also open source. And it's not until you get to NVIDIA where the proprietary versus open source thing, comes into play here. With NVIDIA, you will need the proprietary driver if you want to play games to get full, performance for your games. So if you have an NVIDIA system, I recommend that you choose that option. On my end, though, this particular computer has an Intel GPU, so that's what I'll be choosing. We'll leave these at their current options here and go back to the main menu. Next, we're going to choose audio. And what you can do is choose Pipewire or Pulse Audio. I'm going to choose Pipewire. It's the newest standard for audio. I don't really think you'll notice a difference if you're not. Next, we're going to choose audio. And what you can do is choose Pipewire or Pulse Audio. I'm going to choose Pipewire. It's the newest standard for audio. I don't really think you'll notice a difference if you're not in. Next, what we're going to do is select which kernels we want on our system. The Linux kernel is the default, but we could also add the LTS kernel if we'd like to, and I recommend that you do. The reason why I recommend you have two kernels is because if one of them gets broken by an update or something like that, you can still boot your system from the other kernel. This way, if you do run into a problem, you have a secondary kernel that you can use to recover your system. So I recommend Linux and Linux Long-Term Support, or LTS. I press Tab to select the LTS kernel. What I'll do is skip down to the next option. We can always install packages after we set up the installation. So for the network config, what we're going to do is use Network Manager. That's the easiest option here. It's common with GNOME and KDE Plasma users. For the time zone, I'll press enter on that. And what you can do is scroll down and find your desired time zone. Now, I'm close to Detroit, semi-close anyway, so we should leave that enabled. It's important that you have this enabled, especially if you plan on using any sync utilities. You definitely want Answer for the installation. So what we can do right now is choose the install option to install Arch Linux. And that's what I'm going to do. In case you're curious, what you see right here is just an output of all of the settings that we've chosen in case you want to automate this in the future. Anyway, we'll continue, and I'll be back as soon as it's finished. Well, that should be it. We've answered everything that we need to answer for the installation, and the installation itself is finished. So what I'm going to do right now is reboot the system, and let's see how it went. And take a look at this. I was able to log into my brand new Arch Linux installation, and here I have the welcome screen for GNOME 45, which is, as of the time I'm recording this video, the latest version of the GNOME desktop. So we can take this tour here if we want to. Just gives us some information about GNOME 45. I'll leave it up to you to read all of this if you want to. But it looks like everything is working just fine. Now there's one option that I recommend that you set before you start using your computer. So we'll choose Settings, then we'll scroll down a bit and we're looking for Region and Language. Basically what you want to do is just make sure that your language has been set. If I click on mine, you can see that mine was set to English, so this is appropriate, this is what we want. We want our language to be shown right here. But the reason why I had you check this is because some GNOME apps won't even open if you don't set your region and language settings. If you have settings here, you're totally fine. And there you go. You now have your very own Arch Linux installation. So let's dive in. Like I mentioned, if you don't have an identifier for the hard drive, that should give you a close enough approximation of the size of the volume, but should match the theoretical size of the volume.
All right.
So the
Should be good.
476.9 gigabytes I have on this device.
I mentioned before there's many distros of Linux, and I wanted to try one called Arch. Partially because of the meme. It's kind of become a meme because it's a little difficult to install Arch. So it's like a flex to use it. For some reason, I went on a God run and I had no issue. I always get stuck on the dumbest ever for like 12 hours. I don't know what happened that time. But I also wanted to download Arch because it's a minimalist distro. Whatever you put, or at least 90% of it, is there because you decided to put it there. And it's also very highly customizable, which are two elements that I love, so I knew I was going to love it. I mentioned before there's many distros of Linux, and I wanted to try one called Arch, partially because of...
All right, well, my Arch Linux is installing, so... I guess the stream is almost done. Yippee. The funny thing is, this is really like seriously a dev PC. Like, this is like dev bench, basically. Very funny. Alright. Well, it's basically bedtime now. And by basically, I mean it's way past bedtime. I'm pretty excited about this. This is pretty cool. That said, I do need to put some things away. Otherwise the cats will get into it, so we'll do that right now. I'm gonna try to let the cats in here, because usually I would leave the office open. But I left it closed for a few weeks, because one of them peed on the carpet. And I needed to clean it. I didn't want them to pee on it again. But as long as I get some anti-cat measures going, I'm happy to let them in here again and see if they'll behave. I just hope they behave. And I have work in the morning, so I gotta get my work stuff back in my work bag. Where's my screwdriver? Where's my super sick, awesome electronic screwdriver at? No, wait, really, what did I do with my screwdriver? Oh, there it is. Okay. this going to boot into a desktop environment now? I hope so. That'd be awesome. Uh-oh. Okay, we'll see if this will boot now. Here we go again. Huh. How interesting. Maybe I did something with the install wrong, but I'm not gonna sit here and try and fix it right now. Because I can't. I gotta go to bed. So, have a good night, guys. I'm ending the stream a little abrupt, but I have to. I got work. We'll figure this out another time. But it's almost done, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, peace. Appreciate you.